Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. Today we're going to be trying out some Ikitursa in the Abyss. We're going to be testing a fit that is relatively cheap. It's not cheap, but it's relatively cheap in T4 Abyss. T4 Abyss is a really nice Abyss tier to be able to run because it earns you a lot of ISK. And also T4 Firestorm is particularly good because the price of the filaments is just so low. It's the lowest, I think it is the lowest T4 priced filament that exists. So you're going to be earning a big profit margin, and also you earn, just generally speaking, a lot of ISK from the Firestorms because of the way the loot tables are made. So you tend to earn a little bit more than the other types of filaments as well. Not a lot, but a little bit more. So we're going to try to get a fit that's not too expensive, but is able to run the T4 Abyss. We're on the test server, so that's why it says 1.1 million. Unfortunately, guys, it's not 1.1 million. But as a tank, we're using dual Corelum C-type medium armor pairs. This is pretty basic right here. Not using any implants. We're using the Hobgoblins and the Federation Navy Hammerheads. Reason is because these are a bit more tankier. We don't want to lose these. DPS is important in the Abyss with the Ikitursa, because when it comes to multiple enemies, you're very slow. So you want to make sure you have enough DPS all the time. You don't want to go in without drones, because then those multiple enemy waves are going to take a really long time. So you want to be able to do them in a reasonable fashion. Apart from these two modules, they're a bit bling. We've got these Republic Fleet Camp batteries. Still not crazy bling. Federation Navy Stasis Webifier is worth about 50-60 million, something like that. Some A-type remote armor pairs for the drones. These are actually not particularly expensive. They cost like 11 million each. Entropic Disintegrator, the Veles variant, costs 80 million. So it is a bit expensive, that one. But still, they are very expensive faction modules compared to Tech 2 modules. But still, the price difference between Tech 2 and Faction is not that big. The Tech 2 version costs 30 million. This one costs 80 million. If you look on other types of Tech 2 and Faction modules, you sometimes see that the Faction missile launches cost maybe 100 times more than the Tech 2 variants. So we've got some basic boosters here as well to give us some extra tank. They're very cheap. The Synth Exile is 1 million. This one, Hardshell, is like a couple of 100k. So it's hardly any extra ISK for quite a big boost to your tank. So I always like to run them if I can. Raging Firestorm. We'll get some of these. And we will get to work. We've got the Blackfire Steel skin in. I would have loved more skins for the Ikitursa. Triglavian ships in general, I feel like they need more skins. More decent skins. I noticed that the Triglavian ships tend to have very colourful skins. Like you see, it's a very red pattern here. I wish there was more kind of monotone types of skins with black and grey and white. The Triglavian Victory skins come close to that. So the Leshak, for example, has got one of these. Let's see here, the Triglavian Victory skin. I like this a lot. I wish this skin existed on all Triglavian ships, but unfortunately it does not. Okay, we'll consume the boosters here. Consume, and use the Raging Firestorm. Let's go and get to work. Got 2 armor pairs, reactive, assault damage control. That one reason also I wanted to use the Ikitursa is because it's able to pack assault damage control. And this is pretty good for ganks. I mean, I think a well-coordinated gank will be able to pop us, but it still is able to make us a bit more gank resistant. Okay, we'll sort here by type. And start shooting or locking up these guys here. Use our Afterburner and armor pairs. And deploy the medium drones on these guys here. We'll get the spool up going on these Lucid Deepwatches. Move a little bit in a transversal arc. I'll have the drones take care of these small stuff while we spool up on the Deepwatches in the meantime. As they think these drones, they can take them out, and we can always remote repair the drones in the meantime. We'll get some good DPS levels with this. Let's see now. I think we can soon get in range of Occult. It's usually almost always worth to go with Occult here, even if you have spooled up a bit, because Occult does quite a bit more damage than the Mystic variant. Okay, there we go. Shoot now. What's our range? 19 kilometers. Okay, perfect. We can use Webifier and this Firewatch as well to have our medium drones apply a bit better. Alright, seems pretty decent how this is going right here. The good thing about the Deepwatches is that we're going to have they've got a lot of HP, so we'll be able to spool up to quite a big degree here. The longer we're shooting, the more quicker it will go. Unfortunately, the DPS is not particularly high. You see here we've got 400 something DPS. As I said before, no implants. Hopefully we'll soon get some very high DPS levels. Now still 500 something. They also get the really big buff to their armor because it's the Firestorm. What is the resist profile? It's a good one when it comes to time, or like it will be a very favorable one to do this in a quick fashion. It's not good for a test. We would preferably want to have minus 50% to get a good idea how well this fares in like time constrained rooms, but it'll also be on the other hand a good tank test because our tank is worse here. I was going with the Reactive Armor Hardener. This is good because we get some really good adapted armor resistances. The ones I use, or the fits I've tested for T5, T6, I like to use the triple Entropic sinks because we get the good DPS here, but since we're doing T4, I don't think time will be as big of an issue, and that's why I decided to go with 2 of the Entropic sinks to enable us to have the assault damage control and just overall to be able to be tankier and not have to spend as much bling on them, because I tried to here. It's hard to go cheap as an Ikitursa because the hull itself costs a lot. The Entropic Disintegrator costs a lot, but I tried to go like relatively cheap on this ship, but at the same time being able to run the T4 Firestorms. Okay, it was DPS 400 something, total DPS 600. Drone's doing a little bit of complementary DPS. What is time? Almost 4 minutes. Can keep a range here, maybe 10 kilometers, something like that. Do not want to go out of range and break spool. That'll be quite tragic if that happens. What is our DPS sitting at now? 700. Okay, we're at Gila level DPS now. Hopefully we can break 800 soon. It would have been very nice if we had some implants. It would be boosting us up a lot, but we're tanking still really well. Could have some damage implants, maybe basic damage ones. It might help to get some quicker spool ups when we have those like gunnery implants or sharpshooter or surgical strike. Makes each shot do more damage, generally speaking. Oh, we get 700 DPS now, 860 DPS. Oof. Yeah, the Ikitursa is pretty furious right here. Oh, I almost pressed F1 to break the spool. That would have been pretty tragic if that happened. Okay, we'll go towards the transfer conduit now. What is time? Just over 4 minutes. The Lucid Deepwatch wave in T6 takes a really long amount of time. In fact, I do not advise using Ikitursas in T6s because, or at least not if you're using Officer mod, because you can get quad Lucid Deepwatches. And just think of it, okay? We took now 4.5 minutes for 2. What if there were 4? That would be way too much time. Even with the T6 fit, there's triple Entropic Disintegrator or Entropic Radiation sinks. It's not even going to come close. I did a quad Deepwatcher wave in 8 minutes. 8 times 3 is 24. The time limit on the Abyss is 20 minutes. That's 4 minutes over. Not a good sign right there. Attacker Marshal Disparu Troop. I'm going to go and take out this guy. Hopefully we'll not get popped. Make sure the Reactive Armor is reset, please. Oh, okay, we'll go with the Mystic. Start shooting. Now we'll go with Reactive Armor Hardener. Okay, we'll move towards the Marshal. Have our Reactive Armor Hardener adapt. We've also got the Assault Damage Control if stuff gets too spicy. And go with the Webifier now and Occult. There we go. And we'll get some good application as well because we've got this Webifier going on. We'll go for the Marshal as soon as we can afterwards. It's alright, our tank is holding very well. The Reactive Armor Hardener adapting to that Marshal, 60% damage because the Marshal does thermal damage. Okay, we'll go for this Marshal now. Have drones go for him. Do a little bit of damage right there with a volley or 2. Split to the Occult. This is a pretty generous Marshal wave. You can get a lot more. So we were very lucky in that regard when it comes to tank here. Otherwise, the Firestorms are very dangerous. Oh, look at that drone damage we got right here. It's from the, I think it's from the Edencom guys. The thing is, the Marshal rooms, they can be very deadly in the Firestorms because it reduces the thermal resist, and the problem is like these Marshals almost exclusively do thermal damage, apart from the Arrestor ones who does explosive damage. So we'll take a lot more damage from these guys. That's the good thing about having remote repairs right there. We have reduced capacity need, and also that we've got increased range as well. So we've got these small armor repairs, but they're doing a pretty good job at keeping our drones alive right there. I really like that. The way the Triglavian ships have that bonus to remote repairs. Tank seems to be really going good. Really going good. But, I mean, it's not being tested that much. There's been a lot more deadlier waves that we could have been against. Or we could have at least taken more damage. Oh, you see that? That Stormbringer just disappeared, disintegrated right there. Let's give this guy a bit of remote reps. We've got 3 of these. There's a lot of remote reps we've got here. We can potentially give to these hammerheads. We will keep at range at transfer conduit. That was a pretty quick wave right there. It was not that slow. It has a bit to do with that these Edencom guys have mainly got shields. Their armor is anyway very tiny, so the bonus to the Firestorm armor buff is not really giving them any benefits. Recall these guys here. Federation Navy hammerheads. Jump to next room. Okay, let's go. Reset this armor hardener. It's very good to do that because you'll get the optimal damage type a bit quicker in the beginning. Okay, what we've got here, switch Cinemea wave, super easy. For cruisers in general that have good tank, it's not really a walk in the park. The main problem with these guys is just that if you're in small stuff, you will not be able to run from these guys. These guys apply so good, are really fast, Webifier you in place, every E-war in the world. You just have to brute force tank it, that's all it is really. What is our range? We're getting E-ward here a bit. Lucifer Ixion. I don't want to take out my drones because we're going to have problems with the drone aggro here. They've got big drone aggro. Big drone aggro in these Cinemea waves. Or the angel waves in general. Move towards transfer conduit, please. Might want to... Could actually try webifying these guys and start shooting these Dremias, because these are the guys who give me most problems with the drone aggro. So if we could try taking out these little scrubs, might be able to... take them out before they take out my drones. You see, we're already taking some drone aggro. Not nice right there. Lucifer Dremiel. I'm going to take out the elite ones first. They're the biggest problem. This guy is almost through his shields. He's being webified though, so we'll get good application. We've also, like, Triglavian weapons in general have very good application, so we are applying very good to these frigates with just a basic web. That's all it really takes. Okay. Need some remote repairs on this guy right here. We're being a bit of a logibro for our drones. The good thing about the T4 is that it's not got so many NPCs here, so compared to T6, if you just look at the videos I do T6, the drone aggro is a lot more stressful there because you've got so many NPCs. More NPCs, more incoming damage on your drones means it's going to be more stressful trying to manage your remote repairs. Okay, we'll go for the Lucifer Ixion right here. Got a few neuters, it seems like. Nothing we can't handle. Stop with the remote armor repairs, we do not need that anymore. Spool up a bit of damage. We're gonna have our drones actually go for this Echo over here. The Echoes are doing webifying. They really love to keep you in place, these guys. Scram and web on these guys. Got some hits landing. There we go. Pretty quick right there. When the Webifier took effect, Webifier doesn't take a bit of time for it to slow down. They don't instantly go a slow speed, these guys, when you are webifying them. Okay, great. That was pretty quick right there. I'm very happy about that. First wave was a very long wave. It's like one of the longest waves you can have in T4 Firestorm, or Firestorm in general. And these other 2 waves, the Marshall and the Cinemea wave, pretty quick because they're shield-based waves. There's no issue at all, really. Tank as well is no problem. Just tank's so good here. EM and explosive is the damage type we've got going on here. Kinetic, it seems, actually. But okay, we finished that T4 Firestorm. 11 minutes. Pretty good time, I would say. It can obviously be a lot worse, but I'm still pretty happy about that. I might do some tests in the future because I think it's fun to see if we can get some T4 Firestorm going on. Because T4 Firestorm earns a lot of ISK and is also not as stressful as T5. I think it's a good balance between stress and ISK. And finding ships, and it's also not that, like, generally speaking, difficult to run as the T5 and T6, so you don't have to usually have as expensive fits as those levels of Abyss. So I think it is a very good level to be able to run if you're able to with a decently priced ship, and that's what I'm trying to do here with this Ikitursa. If I can do this pretty reliably, it would be a pretty cool ship, I think, to run the T4 Firestorm, because you're able to use assault damage control to sort of negate a bit of the lesser ganks. And I think it's just a fun ship to fly in general. I just wish they had more skins, really. That's the only thing. Otherwise, I think the overall model of this ship looks really cool. Use the Afterburner to get to the origin conduit and get out of here. Get out of this hellhole. It looks like hell here with all the firestorm, the fiery background. We'll jump out of here. Alright, let's go to the overworld. Not overworld, or New Eden. Alright, so there we go. T4 Firestorm in an Ikitursa. Relatively cheap one. It seemed to perform pretty well. More testing is needed to get like a certain guaranteed fit. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.